We got Michael Chiesa back here on the program. He's going to be taking on Carlos Condit at UFC 232 on December 29th. Mike, what's going on, man? How are you?
Doing good, man. Just wrapping up another day of training out here in Spokane. So, yeah, I think things are going pretty good so far this camp. Super excited for this fight. Super excited for my welterweight debut. And, yeah, everything's going really good.
That's awesome, man. We'll talk about training camp in a sec, but you mentioned being in Spokane, being back home in Washington, and of course the Seattle Seahawks getting a huge win last week. Just your thoughts on the game heading in on Sunday, man. I'm feeling pretty optimistic.
Dude, that was really good. I mean, Russell Wilson, he makes mistakes here and there, but I mean, he's still he's a good team leader, and we're really exceeding a lot of expectations as a team. You know what I mean? I didn't think that we would have nearly as good of a season as we've had so far. So I have high hopes for playoffs, and they've been super exciting to watch. I was supposed to go catch a Seahawks versus Niners game with the legendary Daniel Rubenstein. He owes me tickets from debts he hasn't paid me from a bet we had made. But maybe I'll get to one next year.
Well, hopefully, maybe they go on a playoff run here. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, you never know what to see.
Make him buy me playoff tickets. I like it.
There you go. See, I'm always thinking ahead. Let's talk about this matchup, man. One of the coolest things about this fight is I saw you post a photo years ago with you and Carlos Condit, back when, we're kind of just coming up. What does it mean to fight a guy like Carlos, and especially in your welterweight debut in the UFC?
It means a lot. I mean, this is a guy, and I'm not just saying it because I'm matched up against him, but this is a guy, I have a lot of respect for. I actually have a picture from when I was 21 of me wearing one of the Carlos Condit Natural Born Killer Sinister T-shirts. I'll send it to you after this interview. It's pretty funny. But, I've been a fan of him his whole career. But, I've learned as I've kind of grown, I'm getting into that veteran status of how to push that aside. I've learned that through fighting guys like Joe Lozon and Jim Miller, fighting guys I've looked up to. I've learned how to put the fandom aside and, go out there and be a professional. I think this will be my toughest test to date. I think Carlos he's gonna come out really looking for a win, especially with the current skid he's been on. So I'm expecting the best version of him we've seen, in the last few years. So, with that being said, I prepared very hard. I did 95% of my camp here at home in Spokane. Our team's been rolling. We had Tyler McGuire fight for the ONE FC championship. He barely came up short, but he fought his ass off. Austin Arnett got a big win in Argentina. Sam fights tomorrow. I needed to be home. I needed to be with my team, and it's paid its dividends for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Austin's win because when I spoke to him, I mean, it kind of sounded like there might have not been another fight in the UFC. And not only does he get the fight, he wins and he looks great. I mean, how much of a boost was that with you both personally? Because I know you guys were living together.
Yeah, when Austin comes up to Spokane, he stays at my house. So, it was cool to just kind of he's been there for me down in Vegas when I've been in camp. And then this time it's like the roles reversed. He was living up at my house and just kind of getting to be there with him throughout the process. It was a short notice fight. So, he kind of just really had to hit the ground running in terms of his training. And, he did it very well. People don't realize for how young he is and, his short time in the UFC, he's a veteran of the sport, dude. He's been doing this as long as me, if not just a little bit longer. So, just to see his rise is awesome. And I still think that we've yet to see even a fraction of his potential. I think the kid is destined for a world championship. So I'm really glad that he got this win. You know what I mean? Maybe this is with you, like you said, like this might've been his last UFC. Maybe this will be, the start of that Cinderella story. Like, hey, you were basically cut and then you got this fight, you squeaked out a win, and now you're going on a run. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that Austin's in a really good place right now.
You referenced it there a little bit, Austin coming in to help you in Vegas in the past. And I know this camp, like you just said there, has been at home base. What was the reason for staying at home as opposed to, doing some cross training at Syndicate like you've done in the past?
The big part was just being there for my teammates. You know what I mean? Like when Tyler's got a world championship, he's got a world championship fight. I got to be here for that. And just, the band kind of getting back together. You know what I mean? That was the big thing is the room has been really tough here. Lots of good training partners. Right now, Sam and Rick and Austin, they're off in Hawaii, but I got Jazz Jordan, Joe Parati, Daniel Spitz. We're still here getting it in. So it's just like the level of talent and the rounds that we're getting in, it's just so tough. And I will always spend time down in Vegas training. I'll always spend time down at the UFC Performance Institute. I'll always spend time training with John Wood at Syndicate. But this is still my home base. Spokane is my home. Jiu-Jitsu is my team. You know what I mean? I got to blend both worlds, you know? So I got all the work I needed down there this year. I needed to really polish it off and put all the pieces together here at home. And I think that everything happens for a reason. Everything's working out really nicely. And I'm really just excited to showcase the year. I feel like I didn't get to showcase the work I put in the last 2 camps for Pettis. So I feel like I get to put all 3 of these camps together finally in this end of the year show. So everything's going good.
And part of that, I'm sure, is the weight cut too. Just not having to cut that much weight. I mean, I saw you. I happened to be at both your fights, the first scheduled one and then the one this summer. And you cut a lot of weight, man. You're a huge guy. Like how nice is that to just be able to focus on the fight and not so much on the weight cut?
Dude, it's been great. You know what I mean? And it's not like, you know, I'd be a liar if I said I'm not fat. I'm a fat kid. I love food. I'm a foodie. I mean, you saw what I ate on my birthday. I had 3 double-doubles from In-N-Out.
Yeah.
You know, shamelessly. You know, it's just like you said, I'm a big guy. You know what I mean? I'm getting older. My bones are getting denser. The weight cut doesn't get any easier. I mean, I'm in phenomenal shape right now, and I'm still 187 pounds. So it's like, to put that into perspective, like, I have to really push myself really hard to make that weight cut, and it's really taking away from what's most important in that stuff fight. So it's you know, it's good to just be focusing on my skills. The weight's just coming off on its own. I'm still with Lockhart and Leaf, following the program. Everything's going smooth. And you know, just the current trend of the UFC, we see these guys that are going up a weight class are having a lot of success. And I think that, you know, that was a big motivating factor for me, is seeing Kelvin and Poirier and Gastelum and all these, and even Thiago Santos. Look at him, he's rolling out light heavyweight, you know. So it's like, you know, that's a guy that, think about this, you think I'm a big 55er, Thiago Santos fought at welterweight.
I know.
Imagine
crazy.
That's freaking insane. So it's just, I think that's you know, I don't really like to follow trends. I like to kind of do my own thing, but I'm going to follow this one. I think this is the right move. I think it's just time for me to go up a weight class and just have more fun fighting. It's given me, like, I've been doing this sport for over 10 years, and I've gotten like this resurgence of like, this is fun again. Like, I really enjoy training. I really enjoy this whole process. It's really refreshing. You know what I mean? And I think it just prolonged my career a lot longer. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty excited.
Your corner for this fight, I imagine Rick Little and Austin, or anyone else coming to make the trip?
You know, I haven't really decided yet. I got to figure that one out. Yeah, definitely Rick and Austin. You know what I mean? Could be John as the third man. Could be someone else. I'm not too sure. Got to work out those details later. But, you know, Rick and Austin for sure. You know, having Rick behind the reins always helps. I mean, the guy, he knows me better than anybody. You know what I mean? He knows. Rick can read my body language unlike anyone else. He knows where I'm at physically. He knows where I'm at mentally. He knows me in and out of the sport. So, you know, he's you know, that's the head coach. That's the Bill Belichick. You know, that's Rick. So
you should have said Pete Carroll. That would have made more sense. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
He's a big Belichick, and if I called him Pete Carroll, he'd probably.
Fair enough. And are you gonna like as far as the holiday season, because this is on you know, the 29th, like, are you gonna head down to Vegas a little bit early, or are you gonna do Christmas at home? How are you doing that?
I'm leaving Sunday.
Oh wow.
Yep, I'll head down there, get some work in with Bo and the guys down in Vegas, and then and then we'll just roll into fight week. And then my mom, my girlfriend, Austin, his dad, his girlfriend, Rick, everybody, we got a big squad, so we're gonna get an Airbnb. I already got an Airbnb, and then we'll all just be posted up, hanging out. Just no spiked eggnog till after the fight.
Exactly. Yeah. No, good call. How do you see this fight playing out on the 29th?
I just see myself getting my hand raised. I think, you know, this could be a war. You know, Carlos, as we've seen, that guy, you know, he's war ready at all times, and you know, so am I. And I'm really excited to showcase my skills, and just I think I'm gonna fight. I think I'm going to the world's going to see something a lot different in me. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to be able to fight a lot more clear-headed, be able to see things coming more. You know, when you get done with the big weight cut, you're in a fog. You're even in a fog for like 2 weeks after. You know what I mean? It doesn't go away in 24 hours. So I see myself being a lot more sharper, more precise. And, you know, if we go to war, we go to war. If I get it done early, I get it done early. But either way, one of these will be held up by the referee, so I'm pretty excited.
Last question before we let you go. Last time we talked, I know you were getting into the Super Nintendo games. Is that happening this camp, or have you put it in the closet for now?
Still into the Super Nintendo. Me and Austin still have to finish our Donkey Kong run. We started back in back last year with those last 2 camps. So I'm actually going to get that PS1 Classic.
Okay.
Start doing the Final Fantasy VII run back. You know what I mean? I'm going to run it back again. I haven't beat that game since I was like a small kid. So probably gonna go the PlayStation 1 Classic route this time. But if you're going to be in Vegas, you, me, Mario Kart.
Oh no, that's happening. I'm not going to be in Vegas, but next time you're on a card, I will definitely do it up. And Rakatona actually beat me at Mario Kart in the rematch, so I need some redemption here.
I like the way you Canadians say Mario. Mario.
What do you say, Mario?
Well, it's just it's kind of one of those things, right? So I got to separate myself from the rest. But man, I am looking forward to this fight, December 29th, UFC 232. Mike, always a pleasure, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours, man.
All my social media is at MikeMav22. I want to thank On It, Nike Wrestling, Engage Industries, Hyperfly. Hyperfly has been a big help for me this camp. So Lawrence Packard, thank you, sir. And I love my mom. That's about it. Oh, and best manager in the business, Daniel Rubenstein.
Who owes you playoff tickets?
Yep, there you go.